What's going on, my loves? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless, depending on where you are in this blessed and beautiful world. Message for you today is to be obsessed with the process. So whenever we're going after a goal, we're going through this beautiful thing called life. Create the vision of what we think going after the goal looks like, and then we see what really happens. And it's usually not in line with what we imagined and what actually plays out. But what I'm saying today, be obsessed with the process of growth, of going after the goal, of accomplishing your goal. Be obsessed with every minute of your life, especially the hard parts of the process. So a lot of the time I do these messages and I always talk about like the positive things. And this year I said I was going to really focus on being more transparent, more vulnerable. And there's so many times when sometimes I won't post, or some days will go by and I won't say anything, and I had to really just learn to start taking a step back, because on those days like things weren't going good and I didn't want to get on here and be transparent. I didn't want to tell you that life sucks. I didn't want to tell you that I had a bad day. I didn't want to tell you that like what my vision of the process was and what the actual outcome was were not in sync or not in alignment. Don't get me wrong, most of the time I'm positive, but on the days that suck, they really suck. Like, you question so many things, you have so many doubts, you're so frustrated, and sometimes you don't know what to do. So what I just started learning to do is just being in love with that process. Being in love with the hard days, being in love and going after something when I don't want to do it. Like, that's so hard when you know, like for me, it's my fitness goals and I feel like I'm in pretty decent shape, but it's not so much for me to work out to, yes, I have an end goal in mind. However, I'm very interested in just the discipline and how my life will change. Because if I can apply that discipline to this aspect of my life, I can apply it to this goal and this aspect. And so for me, I struggle with that. Waking up early, eating the right things, falling back, eating something, especially after I've worked out really hard and had a great 1 or 2 hour workout, and then later on that day eating something that I know is like not as healthy or not the ideal choice. And I have to really get better at making it an everyday lifestyle, making it a lifestyle that pours over into every single aspect of my life. So fall in love, be in love with the process, be in love with the days that suck. Like, especially on the days that it sucks, those are the days that you have to get up, and you can't allow the doubts, the negativity, the self-defeat, the frustration. You can't allow the things that didn't go well in your past to hold you back and replay those constantly, because there's so many things that didn't go well in the past, and we always want to find that way. We always want to listen to that voice that says, well, remember when you tried this, it didn't work out, and we let that voice hold us hostage. And so we give into those doubts, we give into that negativity, we give into that frustration. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. When you make your mind up that you were going after a goal, the only thing that should matter is you taking steps every single day to go after that goal relentlessly. Waking up and hitting the ground running, whether it's your morning routine of prayer or journaling or working out. Just do it, because the minute you get up and you start scrolling through your phone, looking at Instagram, checking messages, emails, everything else that you're doing, the more minutes that go by, the more opportunity you have to stay where you are, to stay put, to convince yourself 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes. I have these conversations with myself all the time. Trust me, I know exactly what you're going through if this is you. I wake up, and I'm like, good, get up, go to the gym. And I'm like, well, I can just roll over and have this brief minute or two of looking at XYZ, and then a notification goes off. Guys, we're all human. So forgive yourself, because I also am learning something that I wasn't doing very well, is like letting go, and forgiving myself. Like if something didn't go well, just letting it be that, accepting it, forgiving myself and moving forward, and not continuously replaying it over and over again. So fall in love with the process, fall in love with the hard days, fall in love with the growth, fall in love with the joy that comes from the discipline and the things that you are going to accomplish. Because eventually, if you do something over and over and over and over again, and you do it bad enough and you keep doing it, you're going to get good. If you're not great at working out, but you every day you run 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, eventually you're going to work out for 45 minutes or run for 45 minutes. If it's public speaking, if it's playing a sport, if it's dancing, if it's something at your job, if whatever it is, just keep doing it bad enough until you get good. Just keep doing it over until you get good enough at it. So I am saying fall in love with the process, because when you can learn to do that, you have I'm learning to appreciate those aspects of my life. And I'm also learning to just accept it and be transparent with it. I have bad days. I have mostly good days, but the last six months, I had some rough days, guys. Sometimes I would just fall back like a week or two, like, you know what, not about to get on here and pretend. So this is me just letting you know that there were some things that sucked for me, and I didn't know how to handle them because I'm such a positive person, and I didn't realize there were some things that I wasn't letting go from my past, and that includes the past mistakes that I made that I didn't forgive myself or let go, because I was so focused on this perfect vision of what I created and what I felt success was to me. Maybe that's you, maybe it's not, but you can apply that to another area of your life. So fall in love with the process, and don't always be, like ET says, you know, be obsessed with the process. We're always such in a rush to get to the finish line, but what happens when you get to the finish line? Nothing. You know, be in love with the growth. Well, something happens, but be in love with the growth that comes from it. Be in love with the person you're going to become. How much more confident, how much more resilient, how much more successful, how much more well-spoken, how much more accomplished you'll be with every day you getting better and being more in love with that process. Fall in love with the process. 2019, so my year of yes was last year. In 2019 for me, I'm falling in love with the process, especially the bad days. And I'm learning that bad days don't last. They're temporary, it's emotional. We can't get so stuck in our emotions. We have to just get up, move forward, take action, take massive action, and understand that the finish line for the goal that you're trying to accomplish is so much closer than you're giving it yourself credit for. We create these big goals in our mind, and we think that it's going to take us 10 years or 2 years or however long to accomplish it. It's so close. Just jump out of the gate, just sprint after it, just go after it without the doubt, without the negativity, without telling yourself that you can't do it, without thinking of all the reasons for why it's going to go wrong. Just sprint after it, just go do it. And if you do it bad, get up and do it again. I love you all to life. Wishing you a blessed, beautiful, and amazing, and abundant, freaking spectacular day. Remember, love, it all starts with you. Falling in love with the process starts with you. Change starts with you. Going after your goals starts with you. Loving on yourself starts with you. Growth starts with you.